Substack live.
Ooh.
So, how's your weekend been going, Lisa and Natasha?
Really good, actually.
Good.
I can't believe it's already Sunday, but
I know.
it flew by. But it was very nice.
Nice. Yeah, I Oh, it looks like we're live on
nice.
YouTube.
Oh, okay.
And try to get
Substack.
I think there's like a 15-second lag or something.
Yeah, let me see. Activity.
Oh, I see us.
Okay, cool.
I do not.
On YouTube or Substack? I don't see us on Substack
On
yet.
Substack.
Yeah, we are on Substack. Okay.
Why does
Yeah. It's on I can see us on our page.
Huh.
And
Well, I'm sure. Oh, there it is.
yeah. Natasha, you just joined.
Just kicked in. Okay, there's 3 people.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay, perfect.
Including myself.
Yeah, it's probably yeah, it takes a minute for everyone to join in, and I know we have our regulars for sure, but and if we don't get a big audience, I always repost it. So
yes.
Yeah. Well, we don't need a big audience. I think,
There's 3 people. One of them is me.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of us is me.
And Lisa.
Okay, so it's just us.
Yeah.
We'll talk to each other.
Yeah, we'll do that until we get some other
of
people's in. Here, I'll smash the hearts. Here we go. Smashy, smashy.
Never mind. I'm not going to say that.
Yeah. All right. I don't know even if I can see people on YouTube.
Hey, Kimmy.
Hey, Kimmy. She said she had
Kimmy's
trouble
in.
finding us.
Oh, interesting.
I had trouble finding us too.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
we're all here.
If you could do me a favor and just copy the link at the bottom, and
Hey, Ginger.
if you're on your phone, you should be able to share it without leaving the chat. But you can open up a new tab and then go to your Substack page and post it on your notes.
Yeah.
I'll do that right now.
Natasha, Lisa, Sushi, Nero. Nice. Yeah, I can do it real quick. Copy.
It's nice to finally meet you guys.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah. We've talked in the chats and all of that stuff. But yeah, I was excited to talk about this. It's a very important topic. I like that you guys do this series.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. That sometimes, I don't often catch your lives. I just think that I'm not on usually when you are.
Right.
Same.
I'm like, oh, Lisa's on.
Yeah. Usually I'm at my night job when you guys are on, and I'll just put in my earbud and listen in.
Nice. Yeah, that's my favorite. Actually, I do that at work a lot too for the afternoon shows.
Right.
Yeah.
Someone has a kitty?
Me.
Oh, is it yours? My baby is right here, my kitty, but he's quiet.
I have 3 dogs.
Oh my God. Is that a girl or a boy?
Oh, wow.
Athena. She won't look at the camera.
Oh,
what a beautiful name. Oh my God, I love her.
My poodle would have been straight at the screen.
Oh, my cake.
Cats.
I'll be right back, guys.
Yep.
Okay, no problem.
Hi, Ginger.
Yep, Ginger's in.
Waiting for a few more people to come in.
Yep. Hang out, guys.
Check in with us and tell you how
Thanks,
us
Kimmy.
how you're doing in the chat.
Yep.
Yeah, speaking of the weekend, actually, I've been pretty much in the whole time because the weather hasn't been that great. I'm in Chicago.
Okay.
So we did have some snow. It's freezing.
Yeah.
Last Monday was like 70 degrees it got to, and it was gorgeous. And now it's like a thunderstorm and it's freezing and windy, very, very windy. So we're going to have some back and forth for a little while before we get settled into spring.
Yeah, Utah's been we've had a really bad winter. Like we're the high desert, so we really depend on the snowfall in the mountains. And it's been super warm. Today's chilly, which is nice. And I volunteer with Adaptive Sports up at one of our ski resorts, and
that's cool.
I did 2 lessons yesterday and I'm scheduled for 2 more next weekend, but I don't know. Yesterday's snow was like mashed potatoes. It was weird.
Oh no.
Yeah. And it was really thin. Like a lot of the mountain was closed off. And
oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I would imagine that could be dangerous, right? Like if it's not like the right amount of consistency.
Yeah, it can cause avalanches, but
oh my God.
But when you're at a resort, like the ski patrol takes a really good care of making sure that the snow is safe.
Good.
Like when you're up there and after a heavy snowfall, you can hear them blasting off and they're actually triggering avalanches so that humans have it's a better chance that it won't be human caused. Yes. So
I see.
Yeah.
Wow.
But we have had a few deaths this winter.
Oh man.
From avalanches. But
okay, sorry about that.
I don't know. We still only have Kimmy and Ginger are only.
Hi, Kimmy and Ginger.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for joining us.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure sometimes people pop on like a little bit later.
Yeah.
Like I've noticed that too.
Glenn Kirshner's on right now too. So
yeah. Oh, a lot of trivia over there. He's a big competition.
Yeah.
I love Glenn.
God,
I love Glenn too.
Great
He's
information.
Just the kindest soul.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Kimmy said she loves your pretty kitty, Natasha.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, me too. That's a perfect name for her. Athena.
Yeah, Athena. My daughter named.
Oh, that's so perfect.
Yeah.
That's one of the songs. I'm a big Grateful Dead fan, and they have a song called Athena.
Yeah.
Or Althea. No, not Athena. Althea.
Althea.
All right. Well, let's just go ahead and get going. And people will show up. All right.
Showing up now.
So this is Mind Haven. I am Sushi and my co-host Nero. We have our 2 guests today, Lisa, We Are the Third Estate, and Natasha K. Like to welcome them in. Today's topic is part 3 of current events and mental health. There's a lot of political craziness going on right now, and it's so we're gonna have a discussion about that. Nero's gonna do our disclaimer, and then we'll get into our conversation.
Okay. Well, we at Mind Haven, it's a podcast and a weekly roundtable discussion that provides a safe space for real mental health conversations. It's by us, people with the lived experience, and we're not trained professionals. We discuss our stories and current events to build community and solidarity. You're not alone, and if you are in crisis, please call or text 988. Do not DM participants. Don't do stuff in the chat. If you're really having a crisis, please contact the people who are qualified for that.
Yeah. Okay. So we are getting some more guests in. We have Clara Hart,
welcome,
Ellis, Kat Wilson. All right.
Hi, Kat.
So awesome. We're finally getting some people.
All
okay.
Right.
So what's that?
I said thanks for smashing the hearts too.
Yeah, smash them away. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get on with our conversation. I want to start off real quick. I kind of got a notification saying that the House passed Trump's crazy voter suppression.
The SAVE Act
bill. Yeah, the SAVE Act. I don't know if that's true. It was just on, I get the news break or whatever notifications, and I read that this morning.
Now I'm wondering, did that happen the other day? I thought I heard that, and there's all of this discussion with it about what's going to happen in the Senate, and John Thune, who's the majority leader in the Senate right now, it seems like he's not amenable to this idea at all, because Trump wants him to kill the filibuster, to remove the filibuster, and there's this whole drama going on with that. That's the last thing that I heard, and so far the consensus has been they don't think it's going to pass the Senate because of
good. Yeah, that's good news. I mean, when I read it, I was like, the House they make stupid decisions.
And then with Mike Johnson there, please.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Can't stand that man.
I'm seeing the same thing, that it hasn't been brought to the floor yet, and that they do still think that it won't pass, but that they are ready for anything.
Right.
Oh my God.
Happen.
Yeah.
So.
But these days, I have to say, nothing surprises me.
Exactly.
Especially after everything we've been through so far. And I personally, and this could just be intuition or what have you, because that's really the only thing I'm going by. I don't think that this is the worst that we have seen. Like we're like coming down the pike, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And that ties into like how do we keep our heads like through all of this, right? Like because we still have to live our lives.
Yep.
I was having this discussion with a friend of mine, and she's absolutely right. People have lived through these things, depression and, world wars and all of these things, especially in different countries. People that have watched me on other lives before, if you don't know me, my family is from Italy. So I have a direct line. My parents were born in Italy, so I'm first generation here, my siblings and I, and the second batch of cousins, like on my dad's side, are in America, but everybody else was born in Italy. So my grandmother and my two aunts who are older remember fascist Italy. So they lived through that time, and I heard all of those stories growing up about how terrible it was, but they still survived.
Right.
So people go through it. You're living your life, you're going to work, you still have to put food on the table however you can. And yeah, so that's amazing to me, because I always used to think to myself, like, God, how, like what? Because we don't know anything like that. We've known peace in our country.
Yeah.
But a lot of people also didn't survive too.
Absolutely, they didn't. And that's part of my grandmother, like all of the people that she lost. I mean, she lost two children. She saw like her neighbors and family members and all of the crisis that they went through and all the tragedies that they went through, losing children and family members, whether it was like through war or illness or what have you. Yeah, it was like really, really rough times. So in terms of what we do to try to keep our heads, me personally, like going back to simple, like my friends and my family are my friends and my family and my animals are the most important things in my whole life, right? Everything else, like everything else is is like a bonus, but that is what I always try to keep in close contact with as much as possible, and just always try to stay present with that. And what's helped me lately, what I've started to do again, is hot yoga. And I did it for years, and I started to get back into it over the last 3 months, and that has helped tremendously.
Oh, nice. I have never tried that.
It's amazing.
I don't like being hot.
Yeah. That's I might want to try it.
Makes me angry.
Yeah.
You might be surprised, because I thought same thing.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'll definitely do workouts. I mean, they're gonna make me hot, but like in general, hot weather, like put me and Donna outside for an hour. I'm gonna start getting a little bit agitated.
I know a lot of people hear hot yoga, they're like, what? You're totally crazy. But in that kind of environment and the exercises that you're doing, it feels incredible. But of course, it's not for everybody. Everybody's got their thing, like what they gravitate towards. But yeah, that has been helping a lot because of the mind-body connection and slowing down. And I personally was diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder when I was younger, in my 20s, actually. So so I'm going to be 51 in July. So in my 20s, this is like the beginning. It was like late, it was 99 into 2000. And at that time, it wasn't in the in the discourse yet, people having anxiety attacks and stuff. I thought I was having a heart attack. I thought I was dying, which made it even scarier. It was crazy. So finally, when we got around to it, and of course I went to the doctor, went through all these things, and so my nervous system is already wired to be like taxed, like with stressors. So that is part of the reason why I feel that the yoga has been really helping me.
That's nice.
That's fair.
Hey, go ahead real quick, Nero. In the chat, Kimmy is wondering if you speak Italian.
I
Lisa.
do.
Okay, awesome. Great. All right, go ahead, Nero.
I was going to ask Natasha, like, you've been on a lot of lives, like with Walter, but you've also participated in chats and stuff. You talk a lot about the DNC and the stress you had to undergo, particularly with the racism there. Could you, tell us about your experience there and like how you kept your sanity?
Yeah, that's a really good question.
Thanks,
Well,
Nero. That's awesome. Yeah.
when you ask, I got a notebook when I was there, which I still have. On the back it says, "I will survive," and I got this. I bought it not specifically for this one for that reason, but I Handmaid's Tale, and I was going through a lot at the time. So also at that time I realized that I learn much better and remember things much better when I handwrite them. It's been a long time since I've really done that. So putting my thoughts down, and so I can remember them and reflect on them and vent about them afterwards, was something that I used to do a lot. But how did I get through it? I don't know. I had some good friends that I was able to rely on and confide in with what I was experiencing in my department, and being ignored and iced out and just treated differently, being the only Black person at that time and female, Black female at that time in IT. I went through some really tough times. So having people that I had met in the beginning, and people that I was able to just kind of like message and confide in. And at times I would have to leave my general area where, we sat together as a department, but there were times where I needed to leave because I didn't feel safe. I didn't feel comfortable, and I can't work in an environment where I just feel, like I'm the boogeyman. Everybody's quiet. Everybody's, once I'm treated with racism and I call it out, then everybody's afraid to talk to me. And it's like, don't say anything. Are you okay? It's just like asking me stupid questions, like everybody's afraid of me. And that was even more infuriating. Yeah. So just having people that I could vent to about that, other Black colleagues that were experiencing the same thing. Because I mean, these are microaggressions that we go through. It's nothing new, but for me, it was new to experience it in this way because it was the first time I had worked in person in so long, not just because of COVID, but prior to that, I was married. I was a stay-at-home mom. And so most of the time when I did work, I was working from home. So being at the DNC and working at HQ in person every day was new to me, like being in person, working around people again. And I've always suffered from social anxiety. So it was a big change, but I was excited, to like get out into the world again. And, especially after COVID and after my divorce and after, all of these things, I just felt, like I had a mission. I knew I was doing a damn good job at it. And I felt like I had a purpose. And, I don't think I could have done it without those people there to rely on. And also some of the women and folks in HR, some of them were very, very understanding. And I'm very thankful for them because I think it could have been a different story had they not been there. I don't know if I would have lasted the entire campaign just because I was being treated so horribly, and they would have, I think they would have tried to get me out, certain people, if I didn't have that support. So
wow, that's crazy.
That's terrible.
Yeah, but I mean, again, this is nothing new,
right?
As Black women, especially, having to deal with these things is normal on a day-to-day basis. But I just felt thrown off, and I felt also like naive and stupid to think that everybody, here was going to be like woke and friendly, and like we were, I just envisioned it to be something different. And when I went in and came out, I realized like how stupid was I for believing that, you know, like, this is the same as any other job. I went through the same things as any other job. And I thought it would have been different, but I see it's not. So it was eye-opening.
Yeah, you would think like you know, what's that, Nero? Oh.
I had to fix something.
Oh. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you made it through that, Natasha. I mean,
Same.
That's just horrible. I mean, racism is hard enough as it is, especially when you think you're going into a safe space and, you know, they just pretty much cremate you. Yeah, it's hostile.
Yeah, it was very hostile. Yeah, for a time.
I hate that it's normal.
Yeah.
I hate that too. But, you know, the good thing about it is I stood up to it, and I feel like I could have and maybe should have stood up even more. But it was the first time in my life that I felt comfortable using my voice and saying the things that I did. Like, you know, it sounds like you want me to be quiet and stay in my place and not say anything. And I'm not going to do that. I'm, you know, I like spoke truth to those things. And yeah, it put me in a place where people were even more scared of me, but I stood up for myself. And going forward, it's just like, no, if I see something's wrong, if I see people are being treated in a way that they should not be treated, I don't care what color they are. I don't care if they have disabilities. I don't care what it is. It's like, I can't sit there and just allow it to happen and not say anything. You know, I'm always going to pipe up.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be scared to do that anymore. So that was like a very positive thing. I feel like that came out of it, is just being more confident in sticking up for other people and not being afraid to do so. Even if I'm afraid, like I'm, you know, it's all in my head. Usually it's not. When I reflect on it, it's usually not. But
I used to get in trouble for being disobedient, defiant, or mouthy, you know, kid growing up, like forever and ever. And even in my 20s and whatnot, you know, I've learned better how to like soften the edges a little bit. But looking back on a lot of that, I was like, you know, there was a reason why I was being mouthy.
Exactly.
You were speaking
it was valid.
Up. Yeah. Speaking of being naive, when you said that, it's really interesting because I grew up, I'm in Chicago, so total melting pot. I've had friends of all different races, and that's just the way that I grew up. And I'm really close, like, well, I grew up with the queer community as well. Like, some of my best friends are either gay or, you know, lesbian. And I always, before Trump got on the scene and all of this started to come out on the forefront, like this, you know, like racism and misogyny and the people being so vocal about it. I was kind of in this false sense that like things were better. I feel like they are in some respects, but at the same time, I am still appalled when my friends of other races tell me about the racist encounters that they have. And I'm like, wait a minute, what? And this wasn't even that long ago with one of my friends. I was having a conversation with her, and she's a Black woman, and she said, she was like, oh, she was telling me the story about, you know, like an encounter that she had with someone. And I think it was at I'm in music, and she's also a musician, and she was talking about a show, like at a venue that she was at, that she was going to be performing. And she was, you know, telling me this encounter that she had. And I was like, oh my God, I was like, when did this happen? She's like, oh, this was like last week, dude. And I'm like, what? Yeah. Like I always get caught off guard by that, thinking because I'm in the bubble where that doesn't happen.
Right.
You see, so it doesn't mean that that's the rest of the world. And it doesn't mean that somebody that has these direct experiences, like I don't have any idea about it unless they tell me.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, I guess just to say to that, yeah, it's just like, that's the thing, is for, you know, white people who, you know, aren't around it. I mean, my guess is because that's not the type of people who you are generally. So you don't, you know, surround yourself with people like that. But it's weird, even me being mixed, I still have white people who are not afraid to say the craziest things to me. Right. And, God. Thinking back, it's like, there are specific types, right? Like there's some white people who normalize using the N-word in their everyday, vocabulary. And, I think we all know of somebody who's like that, or know of somebody who's like that. But yeah, it just comes down to the fact that, white people have, like a duty to, call out their friends and family members and whatnot. And it might not always be received, but, for me, like, I don't mind educating people, right? Like, I don't mind, I don't have a problem with it, but I understand it's not my fucking job to do it, right? Like, it's not, but I don't mind, because I still, like, for me personally, I sometimes maybe it's being naive, but sometimes I just feel like I can get into that person. Like, I just feel like, if I explain to them whatever, like, maybe I can get through to them.
Sure.
And sometimes I can't, but I don't mind trying. But, I think it's also really up to white people to, like, acknowledge that and start trying, expanding that feeling, because when it comes down to it, supremacy and racism and all of that is what keeps us separate. But the thing that really separates us is economic, it's the billionaires and us. And like, we are being pitted against each other. And I just feel like there's hope in, like, waking people up and making them realize, like, hey, we're just like you. Yeah. We don't hate you either. Like, like, just waking people up out of racism, because we're going to be in such a desperate time. Gas prices are going up. This is, like, essentially a world war right now. Things are getting really bad. And I hope that we can all, do our part, whatever that might be, to just keep trying to spread the word, because the more people we have on our side and the more empathy, we can spread to other people, like, the better chance we have at surviving and coming out of this,
Absolutely.
And just making people better people.
Yeah.
I completely agree with you, Natasha, which is why Natasha and I partner up all the time.
Right.
And we're always doing lives. I love doing lives with her, because we just really gel. And we have these conversations all the time about the economic oligarchy umbrella, and the tools that they use is the white supremacy and the misogyny and pitting people against each other. Which is why my name is the Third Estate. We are the Third Estate, which is a term from the French Revolution, where it became popular during the French Revolution. And the Third Estate. The first estate was the clergy, because they were the most important. The second estate was like the noble people. The third estate was everyone else, us, like the merchants and the workers and
the common folk.
Common folk. And they were the ones that rose up during the French Revolution. And that is what we talk about this all the time. That's what they want to keep apart and separate, and driving the wedge between everyone with these culture wars. Because then it's also the LGBTQ stuff, and it's enraging. And speaking of which, when you were just talking about making people realize that we are all the same, especially like down in the Third Estate, I'm just thinking about MLK when he was about to partner with Malcolm X, and he started talking about the economics and started to reach across, like building coalitions with the, what did he call it? The Poor People's Campaign, he called it. And Fred Hampton, who was a Black Panther, he was the head of the Black Panther chapter in Chicago. And he's the one who started to reach across the country and was teaming up with people in the Confederacy and making strides, because they were, I mean, it's crazy. People, other Black Panther chapters didn't agree with him on this, but he was like, dude, we need to build this coalition, because it is economic. This is the reason why we are in such dire straits. And this is where we need to start. And this is where we need to start healing, these racial divides. And then what a coincidence, they were killed. But, just kind of weird, but that is right.
Oh, no. So are I'm next.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
No.
You heard of the Wobblies?
Just kidding.
But it really is
what was
amazing.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you heard of the Wobblies?
This sounds familiar.
No.
Please. Yeah.
The Industrial Workers of the World Union. They're the people that started the unions.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they were interracial.
Yeah.
And this was a while ago, like the robber baron days.
Yeah.
Yes.
Gilded Age.
What, like, what decade? Like 40s, 50s?
1800s. This would have to
Oh,
be.
shit.
Yeah.
Late 1800s, 1900s.
Oh, industrial. Okay, like Henry Ford.
You should look them up.
Yes.
Like, really cool.
I
shit.
will, because this is right up my alley. I love that stuff, because the whole thing, like that happened with the Haymarket riots in Chicago, which is, like basically just the flashpoint for the labor movement and the railroad strike, all that stuff. It was during the robber baron time. So I definitely have to look that up.
I learned about a lot of that stuff, not the Wobblies particularly, but a lot of that stuff from Utah Phillips. I've listened to his albums, and he does a lot of stories between his songs.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, he's talked about Mother Jones, a whole bunch of
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Utah Phillips as well.
Yeah, I'm cool.
Stuff like that.
Yeah. So Natasha, you said you have how many kids do you have?
I have 2.
2? Okay. What are their ages?
I have one that is 21, and I have a 10-year-old.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I have an adopted 18-year-old that just turned 18 in February, and I am so frightened for the future of our kids. You know.
How are they doing?
Yeah, I'm like, okay. So it's like, all right, you're old enough to register to vote. Make sure you do that, because they grew up watching me vote and be very political, and they ride on my side. Like they're Democrat or but I don't know. I'm just so scared.
Yeah.
And I'm sure our parents were the same, because it's like each generation has a different political atmosphere, right? But this is bad.
Yeah. Oh, this is the crisis. This is where everything's coming to a head.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are they going to college? 18? Are they still in high school, or?
They graduated early as a junior at 17, and was accepted into our local college here in Utah, Weber State University, when they were 17. So, but yeah, they're out on their own, living with friends, working hard, and going to school. Just very proud of how well they're doing, considering the circumstances of their past. But
well, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get my oldest to leave the country.
Yeah. Oh, my sister my sister just moved to Ecuador. So my sister is an expat, trying to talk me into coming down, down there.
My sister just moved to a different continent as well.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to get my oldest to at least go. I can't go, but I'm like, you're young, 21, look into, transferring to some other, college internationally.
Yeah.
I'm just like, see what you can do, because I'm telling you,
it's possible.
Getting worse. It's getting worse. Please, get out while you can. I want her to experience life as she should.
Absolutely. Well, and I told my daughter that I would pay for their passport, because I need a new one myself. Mine's been expired for like 6 years. So, and I got to start all over when that happens. She wait too long.
Man. And this whole thing with the passports.
I'm hearing that the time to get them back is crazy right now, as it would be when there's like a mass exodus of people trying to leave the country. So
I have to renew mine. It's up next year, so I better get on that.
I mean, it might be worth to pay for the expedited, but
it is. But even expedited, I think it's taking expedited is supposed to be 6 weeks or less, or is it 2 weeks or less? I don't recall. But either way, I've heard expedited is even taking way longer to process. So if you can, but it's expensive.
Mm-hmm.
It's expensive.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I just suggest if you can get out. I know not everybody has the financial means to do so, or the ability to do so. But if you work from home, if you have a job that would allow you to do that, if there are countries that are much cheaper than the United States, that are much freer than the United States, that are much more relaxing, and just keep your eyes open. If you have family that lives in other countries and their residents, see if it would be possible to get, easy visas or, possible citizenship in other countries. I would just suggest anybody thinks that could be a possibility within the next year or two, like just start doing what you can right now. Cause it's like, things are getting bad,
Yeah. And I'm a state employee, and I've been at my job 24 years complete, but only 23 on the career side.
Okay.
And I need to work at least 5 more years. I mean, I could retire now, but I had to take a really heavy loan out of my 401k, and it's a 5-year payback. So I have to work at least 5 more years to get that paid back. And I was trying to make it to 31 years I'm a tier 1 pension. I have a really good future for retirement, but it's like, how long can I take this? But yeah.
Yeah.
The thing about that, Clara, is it's a very large paragraph.
Yeah, I was trying to read it.
About that is systemic racism still exists. So it's not a wound that is healed. It is a wound that is still very much open, and I would argue gangrenous with salt rubbed in it.
Yeah.
So what we're trying to do is deconstruct that to get rid of it.
Yeah.
So I think the best thing to do is when a person of color talks to you about racism is to listen.
Yep, absolutely. And there's even Natasha just kind of dipped out for a minute here. Yeah. I mean, there's racism within the BIPOC community as well. Like,
colorism.
Huh?
Colorism, right?
Colorism, yeah. Yeah.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you heard that, Natasha, but
no, I'm sorry, I missed that.
Oh, you're good. Just for a second. Clara was kind of talking about, maybe Nero can paraphrase it better than me.
So to me, it had that whole slavery's in the past. It was my ancestors, not me.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah, slavery's in the chattel.
Clara's comment.
Slavery is not in the past, but she didn't say that. But that was just the vibes I got from it. So if that's not what you meant, I apologize, Clara. But yeah, I hear that a lot from other white people, and some even say it to people of color. And I'm no, racism is still very much alive and well, and it's even obvious at times. Just listen to the president.
I think it's what she's saying, because I'm just looking, continuing to reopen old hurts, whether personal or societal, only delays real healing. Well, from what I'm understanding, and I don't know exactly, because sometimes through text it's kind of difficult, but I guess if you're kind of using that grievance as a crutch and just keep, just for the sake of it being a crutch. But I always approach these discussions with not thinking that people are doing that, if they're talking about racism or whatever. Either way, however it is, the country has never really dealt with it properly, has never really faced it and addressed it properly, right? So I feel like that's where we're headed into. There's the karma of the country that needs to be dealt with now. And how, what a coincidence that we're at our 250th year coming up.
Right.
So, Claire, here's what I do. Because she said how many races are on this planet? 4. So, look, this has nothing to do with me. I didn't build it, right? But I have this sense of justice, right? So with that, and by the way I look and have this privilege, I have a responsibility. If I want to see this over, I have a responsibility to do what I can to make sure that happens. So when someone says, something like I said or did is racist, they're not saying I'm wearing a white hood. They're saying that right there, what you did or said right there is racist. Mm-hmm. Okay. And it did take me a while to get over that. But when you do, there is so much power in that. There is. And I didn't even realize how many allies I had as a disabled person until I became an ally for the Black community and people of color. And like, I didn't even really know that much about ableism. I learned it from them.
Right.
And I'm disabled. It's just but it's really kind of an awesome thing to just, I don't know, shed that whatever it is that we're wearing that I can't explain it very well. We try to protect ourselves from, ego bruising, and it has nothing to do with us. We didn't put it there.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But if we want a better, fairer world, then we got to do the work to make sure that we get all the roots of those weeds out of the garden.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And everything needs to have light shed on it. Mm-hmm. Like this whole like revisionist history that the right is trying to push. Like I just heard like they're trying to employ PragerU to that right-wing university to educate like children in the Department of Education. I mean, it's just absolutely insane.
I thought they already were using that in curriculums.
Oh my God. Turning Point USA. Yeah. Turning Point USA, PragerU. I was just like, I'm like, oh my God, this is insane. Because I mean, it's like when, this still enrages me because Ron DeSantis is not an idiot. Okay. That man is not an idiot, but he is talking to his base that a lot of these people are not informed and they eat up these narratives, right? Where it was that whole thing that he said about like slavery actually wasn't such a bad deal for them because they left from Africa and they were taught really useful skills.
I watched that video with my little one. And he was like,
that man is not that dumb, but who he's talking to. It's absolutely disgusting.
Most of those people that are in office aren't actually stupid or insane, right? They know exactly what they're doing.
Exactly.
They see their constituents as stupid.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
And you know what? Most of the constituents aren't stupid either. It's just, people can get played no matter how smart you are, no matter how sane you are. People end up in cults all the time. Yep. People who have PhDs and who are otherwise like
for sure,
reasonable people. I know someone with a JD who became MAGA.
Yeah. Oh and I know doctors.
Yeah. I mean,
you're like, how is this possible?
Yeah. Right, but that makes me feel unsafe.
Yeah.
A lot of times I feel from what I'm seeing is the ideology is that they're trying to protect the ideology, like the Republican or libertarian ideology, and they make excuses for all of this batshit stuff that their party is doing. To their detriment. I mean, their minds are going to end up breaking. I keep on saying this, especially the people that had some sort of intelligence, right? I mean, this is crazy.
Yeah. It's evil.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even say crazy. It's just fucking evil.
Yeah.
So, Nero, how are you dealing with this time? If because you said you have a strong sense of justice, and that's how I am as well. Like I get very fired up and very infuriated, and I just want to like not get violent, but just like shake the shit, like wake up, wake up. Like it drives me insane. How do you handle that, knowing that like we can't control it?
Right.
That's something that I personally have a hard time coming to grips with.
Being a person of limited means, I'm not wealthy. I don't have a vast network.
Right.
I wouldn't know where to hide someone. I try to talk to neighbors sometimes, but most people keep to themselves. So I have to like go out in the wild, and I'm starting to do that here and there. But I also can't always leave the house because of my disabilities, being in pain or whatever. So I have to check in with myself. I have to, because I don't even necessarily notice when like a pain episode is kicking up until it's really bad.
Right.
So I have to check in with my body. I have to check with my brain. And that's why I paused subscriptions so that I didn't feel the pressure to write blog posts. And so I could just, drop one ball to take care of some other balls. I noticed myself burning out. And that's because I check in with myself. You have to do that. Like, okay, how am I doing? No, my meds are adjusted. I'm not doing so great right now. I'm kind of, overwhelmed and in pain. And okay, I gotta let something go for a bit, just so that I can stay level.
Yeah, I hear you there. I'm in the same boat. It's kind of like why we're taking a 2-week break after this episode. It's just like, I have severe chronic pain and nerve damage, and I'm working 2 jobs Monday through Friday just to pay the bills, and it's like you do what you got to do, and it's hard, especially when you have a hardcore disability, But anyway, we're getting off topic a little bit.
Not exactly.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, our healthcare, it does. Politics does affect our healthcare too.
So does our physical health. Our physical health. Our brains are part of our bodies.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So
it's funny that you said because your name neurodivergent hodgepodge, which I love. I always give you a compliment on it when we've been in chats before. I absolutely love it. Personally, I've never been diagnosed, but I think I'm neurodivergent, and I do have, some tendencies. And I have read in terms of personality traits of people that are neurodivergent, that's one of the main things is that really strong sense of justice. That you have, like, just it's almost, it's just inherent, and it's very palpable. I absolutely have that too.
And self-diagnosis is legitimate. I'm not talking like diagnosis. Generally, people who suspect that they are will deep dive into it. And I had a strong sense that I was 4 years before I was diagnosed. And that started with me tutoring kids who are autistic. And I was like,
whoa,
this is me.
Wait, this looks familiar.
Well, I'm sure I don't know if you all heard how much, I do lives and talk a little bit about me. I just turned 55 in January, and in December I was diagnosed with bipolar 2,
Oh my God.
So it's late in life. My divorce pretty much brought it to the surface. And I was divorced like 3 years ago, but a lot has gone on, and then I started thinking about it, and I spiraled downward, and it scared the hell out of me. So I reached out for help. I reached out to a therapist and a psychiatrist, and I'd already kind of done some digging in about the symptoms, and I was like, holy crap, that's me, and so I brought it up to my therapist. I was like, do you think I might be bipolar? And she's like, well, I have the test right here. And
wow.
So we did the test, and she's like, well, you ranked pretty high. You rated pretty high on that. And then brought it up to my psychiatrist, and she did the same test, but I gave her like specific examples of each of the questions to like say, yep, that's me. And anyway, I'm going off on a spiel about me, but
no, that's okay.
So like, I'm, the medication, even like, I'm having a hard time, just working the 2 jobs. I have psych meds, and then nerve pain meds, and then painkillers and opioids because of my my arthritis, and it's just like, wow.
Man. See, and that's the thing that's also part of what concerns me, because we were just talking about the healthcare situation and these idiots at the helm and the things that they're screwing up. Already starting with the ACA subsidies and like what else is going to happen, that they're going to acquiesce to like these corporations and these insurance companies. And, it's just really, that's one of the main things that have been on the forefront of my mind.
Yeah.
because it's not only me. Like I have medications, my family does. You know, my loved ones are dependent on medications.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not
I'm
screwing up.
wondering the
This is
same.
deliberate.
Yeah,
It's like a
because
wrecking ball.
Yeah.
even, I mean, we knew what the effects of this were going to be early on,
Mhm.
but now that we're in it and now that we're seeing people's, premiums quadruple
Yeah.
Oh
and
yeah.
then some, really thinking about it. I mean, because some of the things, I thought about like, okay, we won't be able to go to the doctors. I'm just thinking, well, I can go to urgent care,
Mm.
for whatever I need, right?
Mm.
Whatever. If I can't pay the bill, I'll go to urgent care. I'll go to the ER. But what about mammograms?
Yeah.
That's not something
Right. The
that you can
preventative.
just go in and say you have an emergency, there's certain things that you have to be able to pay for,
Yeah.
you have to be able to have, your medication, every so often your doctor has to like
Yep.
put it through and
Evaluate.
all of
Yeah.
that. Yeah. And, if you can't afford those things to see the doctor to redo it, eventually you're not going to have your medication. And, also what happens to paying for your medication with no insurance. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just, it's going to spiral out of control. It's like people are just going to start dropping dead, like
Yeah.
if they
Yeah.
haven't already.
It's too
So
bad. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm very fortunate being a state employee. I have really good insurance, like
Yeah.
all of the preventatives covered. In fact, my last mammogram came back abnormal. So now I have to go in every 6 months to make sure that it's a benign situation. But that's
Yeah.
just one more layer, you know what I
Right.
mean?
I know.
It's like, but yeah, it's just crazy.
Engaging the chat here.
Yeah.
A lot of people, someone was just talking about divorce.
Mm.
Yeah, divorce is hard. Been through it.
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, I don't know if that's something you ever.
Functional neurological disorder, and I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, what's that? Like, it's almost like a oxymoron.
So, Nero, are you? Did you self-diagnose yourself as autistic, or did you get a professional diagnosis?
I was on the spectrum, and
Okay.
when I got the assessment, I had markers for both ADHD and autism. But at that point in time, it was before dual diagnosis was a thing for ADHD and autism. And so I was diagnosed with one I had more markers for, which is ADHD.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. But I know I'm on the spectrum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Books,
a lot of times it is both.
Yeah, books, documentaries, talking to people in the neurodivergent community. And that, the hodgepodge, that's probably because I have like rotating special interests, right? But it's also because I have things other than the standard neurodivergence, ADHD, autism. I acquired some CPTSD, major depressive disorder, panic disorder. So that's been a lot of fun to deal with. Those are later acquired, and it's actually really common that people who are late diagnosed, like myself, acquire like mental illnesses because they're going life untreated because you're undiagnosed, and like not knowing that there is a reason that these things are happening and you're being treated the way you are. And that diagnosis for me was really life-changing. I did go through a bit of grief on what my life could have been had I been diagnosed sooner, but it did explain a lot, and it helped me unpack all that crap I had internalized for decades. So
how was school for you? Like, did you have, because usually you would always the curriculum, like the real stringent curriculums that we grew up with.
So
because
I got pretty good grades, but it took me longer than everybody else to do my homework. And then I didn't consistently have good grades. Sometimes, because like I did poorly in math sometimes. I remember getting really upset in 5th grade because I kept having to redo the quizzes and the tests and scoring low. And, that was stuff like that was demoralizing. And I actually wasn't really good at subjects until later, until I got older. I don't know what happened. I was still slower than everybody else most of the time. And that I hit a wall when I got into grad school. And that's the whole reason I got the assessment, was because my professor said, go get assessed if you want to survive this program. So I did. And then I had accommodations after that. And,
great.
I actually, that faculty was amazing because they went above and beyond, not just in accommodations, but like they figured out some things that I hadn't picked up, like academic skills. As first generation college student, and I went that whole entire time not knowing how to take notes or take tests. I didn't know that there were certain strategies and skill sets for that. I was just powering through it all the time. And I also didn't know that I read slower than high school level. And one of my professors taught me how to speed read. Yeah. She also taught me how to like take concise notes.
I remember in elementary school, like learning to speed read. They'd have these like projected, like just sentences that you'd have to read really fast. And speed it up and speed it up.
There's like a drill. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever had that. I do remember those infomercials with the guy that would. And I'm like, I remember watching that, like, oh my gosh, I want to learn how to do that.
Yeah. Well,
one thing that I always found really interesting is my sister told me, she was like, I just find it really interesting. Like my strong subjects were always English, spelling, almost like photographic memory with like spelling and also numbers, like sequences of numbers. However, math wasn't my strong suit until I got to higher math, like algebra trig and physics.
Trig, calculus and trig,
right. And she was like, how does that work? And then like how is that possible? And then come to find out, I guess that's one of the symptoms, that one indicator that could be like an ADHD or on the spectrum type of a thing.
Yeah, I was kind of the same. I was really good in math. And spelling too. I was in spelling bees and
oh my god, I thought it was great fun.
Yeah. Yeah. But I was also a musician and I was in all the bands and
same.
Yeah. All right, y'all. It is getting to the top of the hour. And it is Sunday evening. I know we all like want to wind down for the week. All right, so thank you very much for joining us, Lisa and Natasha.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thanks for having us. It was a great conversation.
Yeah, I loved it. What's that?
It went by so fast.
I know.
Yeah. So if you guys want to hold on after I end the live, we can debrief after. I just want to tell the chat, we are going to take a 2-week hiatus. I think April 5th is going to be when we come back on. And that episode is going to be pretty, we might need to do some trigger warnings on that one. It's a dear friend of mine who was in a horrific mountain biking accident here in Utah. And,
oh my God.
But I'm not going to I'm not going to say anything else. I'm going to let her tell her story. So anyway, thanks chat for being here. And we will, after I end, we'll just hang out here and debrief a little bit.
Perfect.
Okay, thanks everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah. Lots of love. All right, and
Ooh, I almost closed the wrong tab.
Uh-oh.